All right. Today we shall be starting with a very new concept, that is modern synthetic theory of evolution. In my previous lecture, we have invested a certain time on understanding the non evaluative part. That part of your chapter which will not be there in theory this year because of the present situation. However, this chapter or this part, this subunit, which is 5.6, which is the modern synthetic theory of evolution, is very much a part of your syllabus and hence the need to understand it. Part A of understanding modern synthetic theory of evolution is to understand Darwin's theory, which is accepted globally. However, Darwin's theory is not there in the syllabus. So now today we are just doing part B because part B is there for your exam. That is modern synthetic theory of evolution. Okay? All right. So I would want each one of you to refer to your textbook, page number 100. Please refer to page 100. Okay. Now, if you see in your textbook, the modern synthetic theory of evolution has a big generalized information in the form of introduction. There is genetic variations that you'll be studying. You'll be studying natural selection and you'll be studying isolation. So modern synthetic theory of evolution is made up of three parts. First one is genetic variation. Second one is natural selection. And third is isolation. मॉडर्न सिंथेटिक थ्योरी अगर स्टडी करना है देन वील हैव टू स्टडी इन डिटेल जेनेटिक वेरिएशंस हाउ दे टेक प्लेस natural selection, how nature selects what is good, fit, and what can survive, what can adapt, that will be selected. And third one, which is isolation. If we understand these concepts, these three words, and the concepts related to it, we will be able to understand the modern synthetic theory of evolution. So this is what I was talking about right now. Okay. I'll just brief you up about something important which is not there in your syllabus, but you need to understand this part A to understand part B. The classical theory of Darwin was put forth, and universally it was also accepted, where Darwin talks about a lot of things, including survival of the fittest, which is on page number 98 of your textbook, though it is not there. Okay, let's try to understand the demerits of Darwin's theory. In what way was Darwin's theory not accepted? Darwin's theory could not explain how variations come, why changes take place in a environment, precisely in an population. अगर हम सब एक तरह से सोचते हैं और कोई एक इंसान अलग तरीके से सोचता है तो वो अलग तरीके से क्यों सोच रहा है, that Darwin couldn't understand. This is in terms to the traits, but I'm giving you a different example. So how variations arise and how they can be passed on from one generation to another, that clarity was not there in Darwin's theory. वो तो बोलता था डार्विन कि सर्वाइवल ऑफ द फिटेस्ट, जो फिट है वो सर्वाइव होगा. अगर आपको सर्वाइव होना है देन यू विल हैव टू बी फिट in terms of genes he's talking and other related things. But how there are changes taking place in a population, and how these changes are passed on from one generation to another, that Darwin couldn't explain. Synthesis of Darwin's theory thereby doesn't give us great idea about variations. Today's theory that we are going to discuss is called as the synthetic theory. Synthesis करना मतलब किसी दो चीज को मिला के एक नई चीज तैयार करना. So today's synthetic theory is actually a synthesis, a combination, an amalgamation of two theories. One, this Darwin who was talking about survival of fittest because of natural selection. तो हमने डार्विन का natural selection ले लिया है. उसके साथ हमने और एक इंसान को यहाँ पे क्लब किया है, and that is theory of inheritance given by Mendel. So today's modern synthetic theory, which is also called as neo-Darwinism or the synthetic theory, or also called as modern synthetic theory, is actually a fusion of these two great theories. One, Darwin's theory of inheritance. Second, Mendel's theory of inheritance. So मेंडल ने जो बोला है वो भी इस थ्योरी में है, डार्विन ने जो बोला है वो भी इस थ्योरी. अभी इसको फ्यूज करने की क्या जरूरत थी? Why was there a need for us to find a new theory when we already had Darwin's theory? The answer was very simple. There were certain concepts not very clearly explained in Darwin's theory, but these concepts had total clarity in Mendel's theory. So come on, let's combine the two and make something new and more applicable. Darwin used to always say one thing. He used to say that when evolution has to take place, evolution will be slow, gradual, continuous process. We have seen this in the previous lectures. So if there is any change that is taking place and if you want to consider it to be an evolution, let it be slow, let it be gradual, and let it be consistent. However, modern synthetic theory gives us a slight change. And what is this change? Modern synthetic theory talks about sudden, large, discrete, secretive changes that take place all of a sudden, which is an important part for evolution. कभी कभार अचानक से कोई चेंज हो जाता है और वो चेंज तुम्हारी लाइफ चेंज कर देता है. That is what this modern synthetic theory talks about. Organic evolution is always taking place. We are changing all the time because of variation. Let me throw light on two important words. One, variation. Two, hereditary. We all know the principle of inheritance. Like begets like. We are something very similar to our parents. And in spite of we being similar to our parents because of the inheritance of the characters, because of heredity, yet we are different in our own ways. So there is variation. So as much as there is a possibility of hereditary, there is a possibility of variation also. These two have to be given due credit. अगर हम किसी चीज में सिमिलर है तो हम dissimilar भी है, and the next generation will also have that variance. Change is inevitable. You cannot predict change. You cannot control change. It will take place, is what evolution talks about. Variation has to be produced. Change तो होना ही है. लेकिन मॉडर्न सिंथेटिक थ्योरी उसके साथ और एक चीज बोलता है. Modern synthetic theory says that this change or variation that is there has to be redistributed. अगर वो accept नहीं हुआ in large numbers, then it will be eliminated. We have a certain code of conduct for college appearance. So we are supposed to dress appropriately. Tomorrow, you may start wearing something different. But there comes a time when most of you are wearing something like that. And among your setup, if not in college, outside, such kind of clothing is accepted because many of them are wearing such kind of stuff. That is what this redistribution talks about. Variation or change that takes place naturally. It is directed by nature. In our times, if you would ask a student about having a cell phone, their parents' reaction would be very different. But today, each one of you has a cell phone. Nature has directed this change. Very simple concept is based on for this. Whatever is adaptive, whatever is applicable, whatever is of use will be accepted, will be absorbed, will be fixed, and whatever is ineffective will be eliminated. So, this change or variation in evolution takes place because of adaptive nature of that particular component. अगर वो अडेप्ट कर सकता है, एडजस्ट कर सकता है, कॉम्प्रोमाइज कर सकता है, सराउंडिंग्स के साथ मिल सकता है, तो वो रहेगा. अगर वो इनफेक्टिव है in adjusting, it will be eliminated. This is what modern synthetic theory talks about. We're going to study this modern synthetic theory and its subcontent in detail. Let's try to understand. So, modern synthetic theory, so far we know, is in its true self, in true sense, the synthesis, the combination, the fusion of all biological disciplines. उसमें सारे ingredients है जो एक perfect recipe के लिए चाहिए. किसकी recipe? एक थ्योरी ऐसी जो यूनिवर्सली एक्सेप्ट हो, जो कि हमको एवोल्यूशन के बारे में नॉलेज देगी. क्या है वो? What are these biological disciplines? It involves genetical, यानी कि it talks about genetics, it talks about genes. It involves ecological, it talks about terrain, it talks about the circumstances on which these individuals are living. Anatomical, how these individuals are changing. Geographical, the place where they are in the environmental conditions that they are. And paleontological studies also. Paleontological studies, we have already discussed in the previous lectures, the study of fossils. All right? It will help us or give us a clear idea about mechanism of evolution. Exactly कैसे change होता है, क्यों change होता है, क्यों एक तरह से एक नया स्पीशीज फॉर्म होता है. ये सारे आंसर्स जो हमारे हैं, जो तुम्हारे दिमाग में अभी और ज्यादा है. सी देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ could I use the word a little of confusion in the mind because a part of your syllabus is not there. So we have not studied Darwin in detail. It might take time for you to understand modern synthetic theory. However, if you go through this, definitely you'll be successful. Our theory is going to talk about all the mutations, all the changes, and these changes, which nature will select, eventually will come as traits in the next generation. This theory, as much as it is a fusion of two major theories, a lot of people worked on this theory. Fisher, Haldane, Dubansky, Huxley, Mayo, Simpson, Stebbins, Seabold, Wright, Medal, and Morgan. All these scientists contributed in their own ways to understand and contribute for modern synthetic theory. One of the scientists working on this theory, which is Stebbins, had something interesting to say. Let's try to understand what Stebbins had to say. Stebbins in his book discovered, noted, mentioned 5 important characters. According to him, modern synthetic theory is based on these 5 characters. These are the genetic mutations. यानी कि क्या? Let's every word का meaning समझना is important. Genetic mutations. What are genetic mutations? Genetic mutations are, say for example, Every day you have a certain protocol that you are following. You get up in the morning, you do take your breakfast, you start getting into the lectures, understand the lectures, then you finish with the lectures, you help your mother, and so on. One fine day, for some reason, this setup doesn't follow. You do not follow this setup, and something different happens. Maybe Wi-Fi is not there, maybe you're not able to log in. There is some change. Similarly, our genes also have ability to function in a particular way. However, because of various factors, sometimes they behave differently. And these behavioral difference is because of the certain change in their makeup, which can be termed as gene mutations or genetic mutations. अलग तरह से behave करना is in itself a change. I hope I am clear in what I am saying. So these mutations are taking place in the genes. Let's go a step little behind. These mutations could also be in chromosomes. We all know a cell is structurally made in such a way that it has nucleus at the center and genetic information is there in this nucleus in the form of DNA. लेकिन ये डीएनए हमने कैसे कॉइल करके रखा है? इसको पूरा हमने बिठाया है एक प्रॉपर छोटे से रूम के अंदर और उस रूम का नाम है क्रोमोसोम्स. तो ये रूम में अगर हम चेंज करते हैं किसी तरीके से तो हमारे जीन्स भी चेंज हो सकते हैं. कैसे चेंज हो सकते हैं? Chromosome number can change. We all know the chromosomal number in humans is 46. This is because of the diploid strategy. Half of the chromosomal number comes from each of the parent. अगर ये 46 का 47 हो जाता है तो क्या हो सकता है? अगर 47 हो गया which is addition, 46 होना चाहिए 47 हो गया. If it is 46 and it becomes 45 तो क्या changes हो सकते हैं? Lot of changes. It will change the identity of the individual, which we will also, I think you all have studied it last year if I'm not wrong. Also, if there is a change in structure, that could also lead to mutations. Not just that, we are not identical copies of our parents. You must have heard your parents saying, she is just like him or he is just like her, means the mother or the father, except for this one part. That except for this one part is because of genetic recombinations. Because there are recombinations taking place, there is amphimixis taking place, there is karyogamy taking place, there is a fusion that is taking place between two nuclei and the genetic contents of it. That leads to genetic recombinations. Naturally, nature will select, and this selection is based on what it feels is better. We will also be studying, according to Stebbins, another concept which is put up is reproductive isolation. In a multi-diverse country like India, the population, which is large in number, and so many communities, religions, thriving in harmony, living in harmony is itself a classical example of reproductive isolation. We generally have our own communities, though we are all connected to one another, yet we have our own setup. And this own setup of our communities is or can be related to the concept of reproductive isolation for understanding. Reproductive isolation yani marriages take place most of the time between same communities, which is a general trend in India. This led to certain traits seen in certain communities. ऐसे हो सकता है is what genetics talks about. अगर वही population interbreeding होता है, it can lead to species specification. एक अलग तरह की कम्युनिटी उनकी खुद की फॉर्म होती है. टॉकिंग अबाउट it at a social level, we have our own rituals, we follow our own customs. Same thing or something similar to this is also happening in the evolution line. Let's try to understand what it is. अभी exactly क्यों study करना है? And what is this evolution? If you see the diagram that is being put up here, the evolution of giraffe shows you why there was expansion or elongation in the length or of its neck. This is because there was an adequate need for the giraffe to pluck trees, the leaves of the trees which were growing in vertical direction, and because of which you see the change in the length of the organism. This progressive change in organism that persists over time, it's taking time and generations, helps to explain the great diversity, wide geographical distribution, adaptation, and how the organism originated and eventually evolved. This is what can be understood. There are various concepts that you will be studying in this modern synthetic theory. And if you try to refer to your book, you will see that there are a lot of definitions with explanation given in genetic variation. If you want to understand modern synthetic theory, you need to understand certain important things. First being, what is a population? So, what is a population? A population is a set of individuals having the same characteristic features which are identical to each other in the genetic makeup except for few variation or differences. Thereby, from this population is derived the word gene pool. Because of this population, we need to understand this population. We need to understand what is gene pool. So what is a population? A population, all individuals of same species together make up the population. What is Mendelian population? Mendelian population is a population where there is interbreeding taking place. उस population में mating होता है, new individuals are formed, they have the same characteristic features, however, they always show variation, they always show changes in the next generation. Girls, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Please mute yourself. Thank you. So, what is gene pool? We have seen a picture. It is the total genetic population encoded in some total of genes in Mendelian population. This is the definition given in the textbook. I'll try to make it, turn it the other way around. What is a gene pool? Gene pool मतलब total number of genes. जो सारे जीन्स एक पॉपुलेशन में मिल सकते हैं, all the genes that could ever be studied, identified, and known for its function in a genetic setup for a population is a gene pool. What is a gene pool? A gene pool is the total number of genes that are present in a Mendelian population. Mendelian population मतलब एक ऐसा पॉपुलेशन जिसके अंदर ब्रीडिंग हो रहा है जो हम स्टडी कर सकते हैं. If there is migration, if there is change, if there is shifting of populations, obviously उसमें से थोड़े जीन्स दूसरे डायरेक्शन में चले जाएंगे. It will affect the gene pool of the population. So migration is one factor that can affect population. Replacement, because of which change can be seen in next generation. And any change in this gene pool, कुछ भी अगर एक eliminate होता है gene या add on होता है gene, then it will definitely attack the population. These genes we can today study and vouch for its functionality. वो कैसे function करता है वो हम study कर सकते हैं. क्यों? because we know the fact, we have discovered the fact that these genes are linearly present in a singular line on the chromosomes. And these genes have definite positions which are called as loci or locus. एक क्रोमोसोम पे एक लोकस है, एक पॉइंट है जहां पे एक पर्टिकुलर जीन फिक्स होगा और वो वहीं से फंक्शन करेगा, वहीं से अपना प्रोटीन प्रोड्यूस करेगा. तो इसके लिए we are very clear about how these genes can function or bring about change according to Mendel. Now, please refer to page number 1 of your textbook. And on this page 1, the other side, you have the contents for this year, in which there is inheritance and variation, which is on chapter number 40, page number 49. So page 49 has genetic variations. In this chapter, page 50, which has genetic terminology, please mark the second 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth one, alleles or allelomorphs. Please mark this, underline this, and understand the definition for alleles. Alleles are alternative forms of a given gene factor. What do you mean by allele? This is the textual definition. Alternative forms of a given gene. Come to page number 100 for our reference for today's theory. I'll explain to you allele in simple words. What is allele? Different forms of genes for one character. Say, for example, if I want to study a particular trait, let's consider color of the eye, very common trait. Now, in the eye color, we have so many variations. We have black color, we have brown, we have gray, we have blue, we have green, we have hazel, we have amber. All these colors are variations. So different forms of genes for the same character is alleles. मेंडल ये कहता है और ये एक्सेप्ट हुआ है यूनिवर्सली that for any character in your body, so say for example in my body, if I have to talk about my straight hair, my hair is because of two alleles that are present for the gene for my hair. One more time I'll repeat what I said. अगर मेरा हेयर स्ट्रेट है तो वो किसकी वजह से है? एक जीन है मेरे बॉडी में जो हेयर टेक्सचर के लिए है, स्ट्रेट हेयर के लिए है. And that gene that is there is present in pair. So say for example there is my straight hair which is capital H and capital H. तो ये दोनों हो गए रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर माई स्ट्रेट हेयर ऑफ विच ओनली वन एक्सप्रेसेस. इसमें से सिर्फ एक ही एक्सप्रेस करेगा और वो जो एक्सप्रेस करेगा उसकी वजह से ये कैरेक्टर रहेगा. I repeat, these alleles, which are two in number, are present for every trait in your body. There are two alleles present, of which one will express itself, because of which there is a particular character in your body. We are not getting into the details of this because it will be covered in some other chapter, but you just need to have basic information. Okay, what is gene frequency? You need to understand this. So just give me a second, girls. What is gene frequency? The proportion of an allele in the gene pool to the total number of alleles at a given locus or loci. In simple language, frequently कोई चीज बार बार अपने दिमाग में आना मतलब क्या? Its appearance and reoccurrence periodically. Same thing it is for gene frequency. The proportion or the ratio in which a allele, देखो allele मतलब एक दो दो जीन्स में से एक जीन एक्सप्रेस करेगा खुद को in comparison to the total number of genes is the gene frequency. जैसे कि for example curly hair is more dominant over straight hair. So possibility है कि curly hair जो है वो frequently एक generation से next generation में दिखाई देगा. Just to give you an example, black color of the eye is more dominant, more expressive than the other counterparts. So black color is more frequently seen. लेकिन अगर ऐसे होते रहा कि ब्लैक ही अगर आता रहा बार 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 तो द पॉपुलेशन ऑफ पीपल हैविंग अदर कलर will keep on diminishing, decreasing, becoming less. This is what gene frequency tries to give you an idea. देखो एक एक word एक एक concept reveal कर रहा है and you need to understand these concepts. All right. So let's briefly try to see this modern synthetic theory and the people behind it. I have just put up the pictures to get a brief idea. If you can remember the faces, it will be nice, but otherwise the names will be more than enough. So majorly these three people contributed along with others. He was Dubansky was master in genetics, Ernst Mayr in the species of living beings, and Simpson in the great categories of the organisms. It emerged around in the middle of the 20th century when all of these three authors they started working on the modern synthetic theory and thereby gave the concept of variance, natural selection, and isolation. So let us try to understand the details of the same. Genetic variation, we have seen already. Natural selection, we have talked about naturally how what is fit will be selected. And isolation, we have not yet touched. So we'll be doing that to explain evolution of species. Genetic variation, I've put up a picture. Different offsprings from the same parents. You may be 2, 3, 1. If you're more than 2 or 2, you will see that you both are identical to your parents in so many ways. And yet, you are so different. Here, the chicken that I have put have come from the same parent. So it's the same set of genes that have been responsible for these three products. But see the way in which the products differ. The crown is so different. See the beak color. See the feather structures, the color of the feathers, and then the setup of the body. Each of these gives a clear picture about how variation may take place because of various reasons. So what are genetic variations? It is the change in the gene and gene frequencies. What is genetic mutation? All of a sudden, these chicken have changed from their parents. That is because of some mutation, sudden permanent change. It can occur in gene, in chromosomes and chromosome number. Now, one point that is included in your textbook is about point mutation. We need to clarify this. What is point mutation? Point mutation is when the entire setup of the gene remains the same except for one gene that changes. When one particular gene changes, it is said to be point mutation. Whenever there is a change in the internal setup, that change will try its best to change the external expression. If there is a change in my gene and I pass on the gene to the next generation will show that change. So today, everybody in the family may have straight hair, but there is one girl in the family who has curly hair. And that is because of some genetic change or variation that has taken place. We cannot question how come your hair is curly because it is somewhere come from us. It has traveled along the line of evolution, and because of which phenotype, which means external appearance, external expression, is seen. So when somebody says that how come and why are you behaving so differently, you have to say this is my genetic setup, this is the way I am, and nobody can stop evolution. Another concept that you need to study is the concept of recombination. We will come across this word again when we do human reproduction, which I'll be taking sooner or later. What is recombination? When there is mixing of the sperm and the ovum, when there is sexual reproduction taking place, there is amphimixis, mixing of the two nuclei, the nuclei of the sperm and the nuclei of the ovum. They will fuse together. And when they fuse together, there is mixing of these chromosomes taking place, leading to recombination. Now, here we have two copies of our chromosomes in our cells, one from mother and the other from father. These set of chromosomes, which are identical to each other, are called as homologous chromosomes. Homo meaning same, logos here, sorry, means structurally how they are made. During genetic recombinations, homologous chromosomes physically, literally cut copy paste hota hai. Exchange pieces of genetic information. We here see clearly the setup. Here it is completely light brown in color. Here it is sky blue in color. Now here if you see, same thing is there, but here the setup has changed. This part has been interchanged, and this change that takes place in the homologous chromosomes. So how do we identify the homologous chromosomes? In a karyotype setup, meaning when I have to study all the 46 chromosomes in human beings, or for that matter any other organism, I will put the first chromosome from the mother and the father together. So this one becomes, say for example, one set of chromosomes. ऐसे जब ये 23 sets हो जाएंगे back to back, it becomes a karyotype or it becomes the structural setup for the total chromosomes. तो जो फर्स्ट क्रोमोसोम पेयर है ना, उसमें ही ये रिकॉम्बिनेशन होगा. कोई भी क्रोमोसोम आके recombination nahi karega. Just for your information, some add-on information. The first 22 pair of chromosomes are somatic chromosomes. Chromosomes responsible for all the body characters. Your features, your height, your weight, the way your body functions, your build, and everything else, including the thinking capacity and so on. But the last pair of chromosome, the 23rd pair of chromosome, मतलब जो 45 and 46 chromosome है number, that chromosome will decide the sex of the individual, which means whether it is male or female. One can identify from the last pair of chromosome, which is if two X's come, it is a female, one X from mother and the other from father. Whereas if there is one X and one Y, this Y is predominantly belongs to father. X and Y will make it a boy, which is a male child. So genetic recombination is seen in sexually reproducing organisms when there is gamete formation. I would like to add one more word. During there is when there is fusion also. What do you mean by gamete formation here? Say for example, in a female body, when there is formation of ovum, every month there is one ovum that is formed in the ovary of the female, and there is sperm that is formed in the man. When this ovum and sperm are formed respectively, उसमें chromosomal number 46 pass on नहीं हो रहा है. Even in spite of me having 46 chromosomes, my ovum will have 23 chromosomes. So there is only one chromosome that is moving ahead from the pair. Crossing over. What is this crossing over? We shall be studying again in detail. It is the exchange जो हमने अभी दिखाया, जो cut copy paste हुआ. Exchange of genetic material which occurs between non-sister chromatids. एक ही क्रोमोसोम के अंदर नहीं, दो क्रोमोसोम से बीच में एक एक पार्ट कट होके एक्सचेंज हुआ है ऑफ होमोलोगस. होमोलोगस मीन्स same structure chromosomes is crossing over, because of which genetic combinations are formed, and these new genetic combinations lead to a change in the next generation. Fertilization between opposite mating gametes leads to various combinations. Same thing. Phenotype we have already discussed. Okay. Now I don't want you to focus. I know this is the first thing that you will do on the river. आपको river दिख रहा है? आप river पे अभी focus नहीं करो. You are going to focus only on the concept of two populations. So I'm using this slide just to show you two populations. There are two populations that are there. कैसे है two populations? एक का color कैसा है? Pinkish, and the other one is slight grayish in color. So these set of birds are having their own mating mechanisms. There is mating that is taking place between them. These set of birds are having their own mating mechanisms. One fine day, one of them just comes here and starts mating here. So this color is now, along with its gene setup, is now introduced in this. Obviously, this step will change. If there is 100% of the population which shows pink color on the lower body, now there will be some introduced in this population which will also show gray color. That is what we are trying to say. So what is gene flow? Gene flow is the movement, is the flow, is the transition, change of genes into or out of the population. Any change or any flow that takes place in or out of the population is said to be a gene flow. What is gene movement? Gene movement is when, this is specifically more applicable for you to understand right now in terms of plants. Pollens travel a long distance, so there is migration. Something like this, when it happens, when there is migration of genes because of dispersal of pollens to a long distance, leading to some movement or dislocation of a gene from one area, is said to be gene movement. Gene flow will definitely alter gene frequency. जैसे मैंने बोला, वो pink color के वो सारे जो birds थे, now there is introduction of one bird which was grayish in color, and because of which in the next generation there is a possibility that along with the pink birds, now there will also be gray color birds in the population. So now let's try to understand one more concept, genetic drift. These are all ingredients responsible for our mutation synthetic theory. What is genetic drift? Say for example, you have your beetles or flies which are of two different colors and they are equal in number. Eventually, for whatever reasons, some of them are killed. Because one set of them is killed, the other ratio goes higher. अगर एक lower हुआ, the second one goes higher. So there is a change in allele frequency due to a particular event. And this event will be responsible for bringing about a drift, bringing about a fluctuation, bringing about a deviation in the genetic setup, eventually leading to genetic drift. What is genetic drift? Any fluctuation which takes place in a random manner in allele frequency, same number tha, abhi number change ho gaya, occurring in natural population which could be by pure chance. Example, size of population is reduced due to natural disasters like floods, earthquake, fires, volcanoes, and so on, because of which there is elimination, removal of some alleles, some genes. Smaller populations have greater chances of genetic drift. If you have a population which is small, you have a smaller chance of passing on those set of genes to the next generation. There used to be times when there were more children in the family, but now the family structure and the size, because of various reasons, has reduced drastically. This is a classical example to understand this. Gene frequency will change now. The concept of genetic drift was developed by Sewell Wright. In this, it mainly concerns with the change in gene frequencies in a small population. Say, for example, there are equal number of beetles. However, these beetles are different in color. One of them is brown and the other is green. And these beetles, I'm introducing a new concept. Please pay attention. Very important. These beetles are living on the trees, and the barks of these trees are brown in color. मैंने आपको एक riddle दिया है. क्या riddle है? The barks of the trees are brown in color. The beetles are brown and green. Which beetle is at advantage? Please write in the comment box. Which beetle is at advantage of protecting itself from this predator, which is a bird? We need not think much. The brown beetle is at advantage, has an added advantage because of the same color that it shares with the color bark. This beetle can protect itself because of its camouflaging tendency. Naturally, this bird will pick up the green beetles, जिसकी वजह से एक population अभी change होगा. Because these green beetles are now picked up, the number of beetles which is brown in color will eventually increase, thereby bringing about change in gene frequencies. अगर ज्यादा brown है तो obviously ज्यादा brown ही produce हो जाएंगे. Chromosomal aberrations. Sometimes chromosomes structurally change their arrangement and rearrange themselves. In such a situation, it is said to be rearranging or changing the order, which may lead to variation. These may occur due to deletion. एक क्रोमोसोम स्ट्रक्चर है, उसमें से एक पार्ट निकल गया, लॉस्ट हो गया, तो उसको बोलने का डिलीशन. सेम क्रोमोसोम कॉपी हो गया तो वो है डुप्लीकेशन. Inversion is when the chromosome changes its structure, and translocation, something that we have already seen, which is translocation. So when there is loss of genes from a chromosome, this loss will lead to deletion. When the genes are repeated, double, multiplied, it is said to be duplication. When the segment of a chromosome is broken and this segment gets attached to some other part, it is said to be inversion, where there is total 180-degree twist. However, no gene, no character is lost. And lastly, translocation or transposition, which means a part of chromosome or a set of genes to a non-logous chromosome when it is transferred. टू क्रोमोसोम्स हमने जो अभी डिस्कस किया, जो एक कट कॉपी पेस्ट होता है, उसे कहेंगे ट्रांसलोकेशन. So these concepts also bring about change in the genetic setup leading to evolution. If you study what I have put up, these are examples to show the different chromosomal aberrations. First, you can see what is happening. Here, now there is A, B, C, D, E, F. Exact copy of this A, B, C, D, E, F is A, B, C, D, E, F. So when there is duplication, exact identical copy will be formed. So A, B, C, D, D, duplication. From the actual pattern, एक D है, यहाँ पे दो D हो गए. That is duplication. Inversion. Let's try to understand. A, B, C, D, E, F. Please refer to the laser point. But here now there is a change. First year it was C, D, E, F. Now it is E, D, C, F. So inversion. This part has literally changed itself. So here it is CDE, here it is EDC. These are the genes which have now inverted. Deletion. I talk about A, B, C, D, E, F. But here E is missing. So because this E that is now literally got deleted, this act is said to be deletion. There is A, B, C, D, E, F. In this setup, I have added one more component which is L, leading to insertion and eventually translocation. Just give me a second. So translocation, just to read the setup, it shows that a part of it has now translocated, transposed, so as to bring about a different effect naturally. Okay, I think it's 12:25, and next time we are going to start with natural selection. Let me tell you something very interesting about this. This is the same topic that I was talking about in my last to last lecture, where I said that I will be discussing about one of my most favorite scientists of all time, natural selection. Next time, I will show you all a small video. I had planned a lecture for you all on natural selection and Darwin's principles of evolution. So for that, I had picked up on a video. Now that video doesn't make sense today because that part is not included. But a part of that entire part is very much there, which is natural selection. And to understand natural selection with reference to synthetic theory, we will have to do natural selection. So next time that we meet, we will start with natural selection. But before that, I want to ask you all a few other important things. I would want you all to just unmute yourself, please. Okay, all right. Now, have you all understood There are a lot of things that we have done today, and we have done it in parts. So when we are doing so many multiple things, no, it always leads to confusion. Are you clear about the concepts that we have done so far? Like I was talking about A, and then I went on to E. Then I came from E, and then I have applied D. But I have just followed the way it is given in the textbook. Have you all understood the concepts?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. I'll just call out the names also so the others also get a chance to talk. Okay. I would like to put up an assignment with y'all girls. I'll be posting it on the group. So please go through the assignment, complete the assignment, and submit it. But when you submit this assignment, let it not be handwritten. Let it be compiled in the form of a file. Okay, and let it be a Word document. And please post this. But I will let you know how it is to be posted and what is to be done. Okay, regarding the same. Um, okay.
Excuse me,
So
ma'am.
let me just stop with the recording first and then we can answer the queries.